It's me, Queen KB, back for another episode of the Royal Council. With me, as usual, this week is Baron Botch, Noble Natalie, and for the first time joining us is Count Oscar. OC. And speaking on his AEW shirt, we are discussing AEW this week. Very specifically, the one thing that I keep complaining about, that Botch keeps complaining about, okay, that basically the world is complaining about and nobody in AEW is listening. And I kind of started a hashtag the other night that was AEW hates women. But yeah, it sure seems like that right now. And they really don't seem to have a handle on how to handle women, which blows my mind because they have some fantastic wrestlers in AEW. Go ahead, Botch. I see you over there bouncing. What do you have to say?
So when you say they have like a lot of you didn't say a lot. You said they have a group of fantastic women.
They do.
So I'm going to try to be as diplomatic as I can be. They have Swole.
Small group. A good one.
Small, really small. They have Britt. Britt is better than she was. She was
right.
Was an absolute Greek tragedy at the beginning, but she is better, and she's great slime.
Oh yes.
Love her. Love the slime. They've got Swole, who is amazing. She's the best thing they have by a nautical mile.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to figure out who else they have.
Penelope Ford.
No.
Yep. I love her. I love her.
Dude,
love
we
Penelope.
trashed that match, and you know the one I mean, the one from a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, but I think it was not her fault. It's not her fault.
She's better than that.
She's better than that. They put her in a spot to fail, and it showed big time.
Bruh, she completely botched over and over and over again. Herself.
You're not wrong, but I think her title match with Shida was great.
Okay.
She had a great match with Shida by herself. The only match she's ever been in, I think, by herself. She was great.
And then there's Tay, who's there now.
Sorry, go ahead, Queen.
But there's Tay. There's Anna Jay, who, while is young and green, she showed really well in the women's tag team tournament.
True.
And as I said, Tay is just jaw-droppingly good. Hopefully they'll be. I love Tay. I think Tay has so much potential. She's still young and green.
We just need to see, but see, that's the thing. We're talking potential. They're on a weekly television on a national network. There's no time for potential. You just need to have it.
But the thing is,
who have it, there's literally like two that have it.
They have quite honestly, she's not that interesting.
Who?
Brandy.
Definitely not. Nobody even was talking about her. She doesn't make the list.
You're right.
We'll come back to Brandy because Brandy's a whole other level that we need to discuss.
Let's do that. Yeah,
basically, last week they had Anna Jay come out and present Tay Conti with the Dark Order paperwork.
Yeah,
and
I remember.
It looked like they were starting that storyline, and then they had, when the Dark Order came out, they had some eyes made with Tay and ringside. And yet they did nothing with it. All they had to do was spend 2 minutes to further that storyline. And that's the problem I'm having lately, is they can use little bits and develop storylines with these women while they are working on their getting better, because they're not being used at all. They're standing there.
But there's literally only like two that could handle it, even if they were. There's literally like two. That's how bad it is. Potential is cute and all, but there's literally only two that are ready.
Who? Big Swole and
Swole is ready for absolutely anything, and I think Britt is finally ready for anything.
And then there's Shida.
Yeah, but she can't talk.
No, well,
not her fault, but
she needs
a mouthpiece. Yeah, she needed Vicky.
No.
Because Nyla Rose isn't ready at all. Like, that's a waste of...
She is 7 years in. I don't know if she's ever going to be ready at this point. She's 7 years in.
She is, dude. She was... Did you ever see her on Capitol Wrestling, Oscar?
No.
I did not. This is honestly, there's a lot of this women wrestlers on the roster that's very new to me. They're very new to me. Aside of
They're all new.
Brandy Rhodes, who's not even a wrestler. We won't even start with that.
Nah,
Britt Baker, who has finally developed into something now.
she has.
Tainara Conti, who is, like you said, potential, because I don't think there's anything else there.
I love her.
Nah,
But
I mean, I think
yet.
Nyla
I
Rose
want to.
it's a danger to whoever she's across the ring from her.
Yeah.
Let's be brutally honest. She has the size. She has this heel aspect to her that could just dominate the roster, but she doesn't know how to use all that.
No clue.
7
She doesn't
years
know
in
how
the
to put it all
ring.
together.
Yeah.
7 years.
7 of them.
7, and she's not ready. She's not going to be ready.
Agree.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I expected more from that title ring, to be honest with you, and it was
I
nothing
didn't.
But it's like
I don't even know what it was. 2 weeks of. I mean, given COVID-19 happened and everything shut down, and but given all that, there was nothing there. The best thing they did was give the title to Shida. That was the best thing they could have done at that moment that time.
mm,
But then there's gotta be, what about, I mean, yeah, they keep bringing in people for matches. Why not sign some of these people? Like
Well,
Serena Deeb.
She
Hello,
was great.
Serena kicked.
She was,
But
I don't even know who she is, but she was amazing last night.
it was fine.
I don't know if you've ever watched if you watch much WWE, but back when CM Punk was doing his straight edge thing,
She shaved her
and
head
he
for it.
shaved the head of a girl, it was Serena Deeb's head that got shaved in the ring. So
I
I
she's
do remember
been
that
around
moment. Yeah.
That was a really long
wrestled
time
for
ago, but
13 years. She's a veteran. She
That's a
knows what she's doing,
long
and she
time.
looked great
She
this
did.
past episode
She did.
with
That's
Thunder Rosa.
But see, the problem is it didn't matter. She looked great. Thunder Rosa looked pretty good in a
Yeah.
match that was motivated by nothing.
Exactly.
You can have great, it's basically like 205 Live with an attitude. If you want to put a bunch of people into a ring together, that's fine, but there needs to be some kind of a storyline, some kind of a motivator to make me want to watch. And AEW is poor at making me care about women.
Which is why I said they needed to do something more with the Anna Jay, Tay Conti, the Dark Order. They did something little last week. They should have done something little this week and be building.
It wouldn't have taken long. I mean, you're right.
No, it would have taken no time.
I feel like that they're saving that to develop a little more. That's me. I think I'm being here, like, giving them the benefit of the doubt. I think they're saving that and they're gonna develop a little more, and they didn't just want to throw something together before all out.
I can see that.
I can see that,
that's fair.
but it wouldn't have done much for even Anna Jay to come out, look at Tay, over her shoulder or something at some point, and just to have an eye connection would not have taken any time. They could have done it during that big brawl while everyone was out there.
Or the Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara promo, they could have done that instead of that there.
I mean,
if you try things out, might as well try that. I don't know.
They are, and we were discussing this before the show, before we started here, that they're trying different things in AEW, but they're not trying them with the women.
Yeah, thank you. Like, they're not
They
doing
did that
anything
thing, as you
with
said,
women.
with Sammy and Matt, but they're not doing anything different with the women. They're not doing anything with the women.
And then when they get a good angle that runs really, really well, they've baked one that's great and we're excited for the match, they put it on the buy-in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on, y'all. Like,
this
is the one you built. This is the one we care about, and you're putting it on YouTube.
Exactly.
That's a bad look. That's such
I honestly don't know what Cody Rhodes, Brandy Rhodes, Tony Khan, whoever else is in control and working with the women, what are they thinking? And why don't they care? Especially, okay, it's time to go there, people. We're going there. I really expected Brandy to be a supporter and to really champion the women in AEW, and she's playing switch in the back and trying to act like she knows how to wrestle.
Yeah.
She said during that press conference, that initial press conference that I sat there and wrote up for the site, she said that they were going to pay attention to the women and that they were going to do all this great stuff with women and make the women matter, and they were going to be paid as much, et cetera, and this whole thing. Yeah, what about all that?
11 months
about
in.
Brandy.
Go ahead, Natalie.
About Brandy. That tag team thing, for the most part, it was Brandy.
The tag team thing that showed up on YouTube and nowhere else.
Yes.
Exactly.
You didn't see it on TV. It was on Facebook. No, YouTube.
YouTube.
And
it was on the
people
tube.
had to remind me it was on there because, oh, I forgot.
Yeah, no, I know.
Attention getting. It was.
It truly
It
sucks
was a
because
throwaway. Go ahead.
it was
Yes.
a throwaway. No, it really sucks because when they set up that tournament, it was a great concept, it's a great idea. And I feel, and it sucks to say this, I feel like Brandy and Allie took the spotlight from somebody else should have been in that final match. The final match was a great match, no matter who it was, because it was. But I feel like they had the potential to put another team there and really showcase the only match that was actually televised. Showcase it right there and then. And they blew it. They started to put Allie and Brandy there. And most of the heavy lifting was done by Evelise and Diamante.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they won, because if they would have given that cup or that whatever you want to call it to Brandy and Allie, I probably would have, I don't know, I probably would have stopped watching AEW altogether.
Thank you. And people were like, well, it doesn't matter because they didn't win. And I'm like, but they shouldn't have been there in the first place. They shouldn't have gotten that far in the first place. That is not even the point. You have such a poor women's roster and you do nothing with it. This is what you're going to do. And you're going to put the whole thing on YouTube except for the last match. Like, your show is 2 hours long. You have all these men featured. You can take a little time away and show some women every once in a while. It wouldn't kill you, especially when you're doing a tournament that's supposed to be of a certain magnitude. Like, put it on TV. Come on. Okay, a couple of matches on YouTube is fine, but don't put all of it except for the last match. That's just, come on now.
It's a slap in the face to every woman wrestler out there.
And every fan of the women wrestlers.
I mean,
yeah, it was A, that it was on YouTube, B, that Brandy and Allie were in it all the way through, C, that the women who won it are not signed by AEW. They should be. Those two, Evilise and Diamante, are amazing in the ring. They are so good. Just amazing wrestlers, and yet they won the tournament cup and they're not even under contract with the company. What's up with
that? Have they really not said anything about them being on their contract? They're just wrestling like they're doing like a Rey Mysterio thing, night to night contract, or what are they doing?
Yeah, well, I mean, Serena Deeb doesn't have a contract. Thunder Rosa doesn't have a contract. Evilise and Diamante. Half the women that go through that show, the ones that actually are seen on YouTube or in dark, most of them are not under contract with AEW. And the ones who are too green to go forward, or most of them are.
Thunder Rosa signed to NWA.
Right.
This is part of a cooperative between the very desperate NWA at this point and AEW because they don't have anything on the air. They can't put a show on.
Right.
So they got to do something. So this is a cooperation. She is a cooperation between AEW and NWA. So
and it was great to see her. I love her.
I had no idea who she was before this past 2 weeks. And she is something. She's a great wrestler. Last night's match with Serena Deeb was great. There was no storyline behind it, but I think the idea of it was to showcase who Thunder Rosa was. And I'm glad Serena Deeb didn't come in there and just drop her, just lose. That would have stuck.
But you can create conflict even in the middle of a match. You can create some crux on which the whole thing sits.
They just went out there and did the moves.
Yeah. It was 205 with women.
Yeah, correct.
That's the whole problem with 205 Live, frankly. Like, the people get in the ring and they wrestle and you don't care why they're there. It's the same. It was the same thing here. Serena and Thunder Rosa were in the ring, and you didn't care why they were there.
And you know what's crazy is there's a match happening Sunday, which they're doing a good job of making it interesting and making it important. But there was no Shida whatsoever besides a video. So your champion, who was wrestling Thunder Rosa on Saturday night, is not even in the show for like 2 seconds. Make her come out to the ring, put the title over her head, something, and you did nothing about it except show a video promo for the match Saturday night. That's bad. That's horrible. Horrible booking, horrible everything.
Yeah, we literally have very little reason to care about the match.
Just thinking of AEW's biggest competition right now in NXT. I was trying to think of what the promos they have done, the short little things and the longer promos they've done to get the women over. And I immediately went to Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano at home doing little things. There are so many things they could do. Like when they were doing, they doesn't have to be in the arena. It doesn't have to be in the middle. They could tape something to build something. And I mean, I know Chris Statlander's out, and I no clue when she'll be back.
Yeah,
and
it doesn't matter to me really, but okay.
Yeah, even her coming back to me, like she seemed like another great potential, and she had her one match, and then it was like, well, she's gone. Good luck.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
Chris Statlander is a fantastic wrestler and a fantastic character, but she's out.
It's hard. And last night was the showing that they're, I guess if you want to call it, trying, because the Thunder Rosa match with Serena D was great. That was promo great. With Big Swole and Britt Baker was probably the best thing that happened all night. And
yes,
and it went maybe to the last like 10 minutes, 15 minutes to put it on there. It was perfect. It was great, but there was nothing else there. That's it. And the best promo for the show going home to All Out, and the match is gonna happen in the kickoff show, makes no sense to me. It just makes no sense to me.
And that's the problem with AEW right now. They are doing so many things that are so great and so many things that don't make sense.
Well, there's only one thing there again, like, and you said it at the beginning.
It's so many things in that it's wrestling, it's promotion, it's storyline, it's build, it's feuds. I mean, yes, it's all encompassing the women, but
yeah, it's one
all of
thing.
these things.
Yeah,
it's not like they're just dropping the ball in the ring or just dropping the ball on promos. They're dropping the ball everywhere for the
women. They're dropping the ball on women, period.
Right.
Just in every conceivable way. Yeah.
So
I
honestly don't remember how good of a wrestler Allie is from her time in Impact.
She was okay. Not terrible, but see, she was, when she was in Impact or TNA or whatever it was when she was there, I can't keep up. But when she was there, the thing that she was in was very storyline heavy.
Right.
Yeah.
Like very storyline heavy. And it worked. She was really good at it. And then, of course, the whole Demon Bunny thing was very storyline heavy. Now, what?
With the whole bunny thing and the Butcher and the Blade, I think that was great.
I loved that.
It was good. It fit perfectly. I don't know what happened. All is nowhere she drops out of there, and now they're trying to have her wrestle with Brandy in this weird storyline with QT Marshall, and I'm like, what's going on?
Brandy has this history of throwing herself into storylines that just fail. Like that. Do we even need to discuss like the Nightmare Collective and how well that didn't work? Like,
right. That was horrific, and that was all on Brandy's head. And
it got dropped immediately. It just got dropped so fast with no resolution at all. Like that's how it goes, you know. Thankfully, they listened and they just dropped it.
Isn't Mel under contract with AEW? We haven't seen her in the ring forever.
Who?
Mel. Kind of a beefy, sturdier girl, shaved head.
I have no idea.
She was in Nightmare Collective with Brandy, and she is a signed wrestler with AEW as far as I know. And we've seen her once or twice since Nightmare Collective. That's it.
I know they have this new girl, and the only reason I know this is because when they came here to Colorado, when they had the show here, this younger girl, her name I believe is Abaddon. She's the scary
Yeah.
looking. She's a great wrestler. She's
She
a
is.
local girl here from Colorado. She's been going through the system, the indies here in Colorado, and they signed her. And she's when the whole storyline with Anna Jay developed into the Dark Order. She was the girl that beat her to go into that storyline.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I haven't seen her. I guess she's been wrestling in AEW Dark, but she's a great wrestler and she has a great persona, a great character, and they don't use her as well. Even use her as a, I don't know, put her in there and get these baby faces more promo, more hype. I don't know, something with it, and it's not happening.
Yeah.
Storylines. Even if you're not comfortable with your women in the ring right now, give them something to do. Build their characters for the fans. Because the more they're, suddenly they're ready to wrestle. Who are they? They've been
exactly. Yeah, you're right.
I honestly don't know who needs to be shaken most in AEW to get them to figure out that they're failing.
Do we know who's booking these matches? Who's putting
Not
their
really,
2
no.
cents in there?
It used to be Omega, but I've been hearing he's not doing it now. And if Omega's not doing it, I don't know who is. But, Brandy said they were going to take care of the women, and
they're not.
they
Not
are
at all.
It's weird. It's a weird moment right now because I know we're talking AEW women, but even WWE women, we hit this like cap or wall or ceiling where it's always the same people carrying the same storylines. It's always the same people carrying the same championship. New talent is not being developed. New stories are not being developed. It's boring. They don't give them the time. I see it everywhere.
Time. I will say WWE gives them the time, much more time, but I have been a avid complainer about the fact that the 4 horsewomen are the ones who are getting the most of anything, and that's changing now with Charlotte and Becky both being out.
Yeah.
And Bliss going into that new storyline, and Asuka getting the strap back, and Shayna being up there. I mean, they're doing a lot, and I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing in the WWE.
Well, and some of this is, you could also blame some of this on COVID too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
not where AEW is
But
concerned,
not all of it.
but where WWE is concerned, you can blame some of it on COVID. Some.
And some on stalkers, and some on other stuff.
Definitely, yeah.
That's another whole story. Yeah.
That's another topic. Yeah.
Yeah.
But where AEW is concerned, I mean, you just like rattled off this list of like females that could get it done in the ring that you like, and there are many more that you left off. You can't do that about AEW. You just can't, because they don't exist.
I can do that about Impact Wrestling right now.
Sure you can.
And Impact Wrestling they're focusing on the men more than women right now, mostly. And I'm still getting more women's greatness from them.
Sure. Even I know that, and I don't watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've only watched it a couple times, and there was better wrestling there than we're getting on AEW.
They have Jordan Grace, the end. Like,
yes, she's
ridiculous.
amazing. They have Rosemary.
Rosemary. They got the girl that was just signed by them from NXT. The Virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo, now the new Knockouts champion. They're getting people in here. They're making them champions, and they're doing their thing. It is better than AEW by far.
Anything is.
Yeah, you're right.
When it comes to women, anything is.
Who other than the names we have stated that we...
And it's annoying, too, because, like, if you look at everything else, if you look at the guys, they're getting it so right otherwise. Like, I like when Oscar and I are, like, writing the blog, like, I know we're both sitting there doing the exact same thing because we're just watching and just going, dang, like, it just keeps getting better and better and better. So it's not like they don't know how to do it. They know exactly how to be creative. They know how to come up with storylines. They know how to execute. They just need to do it with the women.
Right.
Maybe they need that third hour more than WWE needs it.
I really think You don't think they do?
No one should have a third
right
hour.
now.
It's hard enough to get through Raw.
If it gets them to develop the women's roster, the ladies, then I'm all for it. You
If
know?
you
Yeah.
could give us
It
a good
shouldn't,
hour of
though.
women's work, I'd be happy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
so-
But they'll use it on more Sammy Guevara promos and Chris Jericho on the mic. Not that I hate Chris Jericho on the mic, but it seems like we get two MJF promos a night, two Chris Jericho promos a night, two Moxley promos a night. Like, I love them, and I'm all for
But
it.
do
But
you mind is the question. You don't mind it. You love it. You know you do, and so do I. Like
I
would,
just
I
realized.
could literally sit there at the beginning of a show. If MJF started talking, I could watch it for 2 hours. It'd be
you're
perfect.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Talk is, or Jericho. If Jericho talked for 2 hours with Orange Cassidy there,
Oh,
go
yeah.
ahead, do it. I don't care. Mox wants to talk for 2 hours, go ahead and do it. But that's the reason that they do it. Is it old?
right.
Yes, it's old, but we love it.
Love it.
So
You're
it
right.
doesn't matter.
I
You
have
know?
never once asked when the wrestling was going to start
Thank
for
you. Neither have I.
AEW, but I've done it for WWE.
Yes.
That is a very interesting point. I hadn't even put my finger on that. You're right. You hadn't asked. Huh.
You're right.
And they have women who can talk. Big
Yeah.
Swole proved it last night. She's perfectly capable of talking. She rules
Great.
Twitter. She's amazing
Oh,
on
yeah.
Twitter. If you don't follow Big Swole on Twitter, you are losing at life.
Is she
Yeah,
Cedric
agreed. On Twitter.
Alexander's wife?
Yeah, she's
What?
Cedric's wife. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cedric's
she's
wife,
Cedric Alexander's wife.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she'll like live tweet the show he's on. Like,
Oh,
it's-
yeah. It's brilliant. When she's begging for her own husband to turn heel on Raw, I'm about on the floor.
That's a whole nother story with Cedric. They dropped the ball on him big time too. But
Yeah.
Well, they will. Give it a minute. They're still working on it. They will.
Okay.
They're building it.
if he goes heel, and he joins the Hurt Business, I'm all for it.
Me
Honestly, I'm all for it.
I'm sure he will. They're
Yeah.
just doing it slowly because it's a good idea to do it slowly. Don't just immediately give me what I want, make me suffer. I'm okay
You're
with
right.
that.
Sorry, I
And the
didn't mean to
other
go there with Cedric, but I mean,
No, you're fine. You're good.
I get it.
Cool.
And the other two joined the Hurt Business like that. So we need.
Yeah, give me a slow burn. I'm fine with it. I don't mind that at all. And I really like the fact that she was on Twitter selling it. Like, that's cool because she knows. She knows how it
she's
goes.
great. She's great.
She is fantastic all the way around.
Yeah,
And Britt
she can
is-
talk all night long. Britt can talk. That's fine.
Even Reba can talk.
Yeah, she can. But
She
like
plays
Britt,
her. she
Britt
play-
turned into the most incredible slime. I can't stand her, and it's great.
Great.
It's
You know?
fantastic.
It's like she's on my screen, and I want her to stay there, but I hate her guts.
And who is
It's
she
great.
with? Remind me, Botch, who is she romantically connected to?
Oh,
Adam?
Adam Cole, baby.
Adam Cole.
Exactly.
But she's her own thing. She's not Adam in the least.
Oh
bit.
yeah, I know,
She's
and
her
I
own
love
slimy
that.
thing.
She's developed great. I
Dude,
will
yes.
be honest that at first when she came to AEW, she was one of the biggest women signings they did at the beginning, and I was like, this is not gonna work out. Even
I
with
agree.
I was like,
the
wow.
broken leg, the broken leg helped her develop into the slime she is now. She took it, ran with it. It's perfect. So I'll give her that. She herself made a name in that division without even wrestling a match. I mean, she did wrestle a couple matches, but even this whole story developing, she didn't wrestle any matches. She was hurt, and she did better than she would in the ring.
She fixed
The
her whole
moment-
thing.
The moment that sealed Britt for me, Britt and Swole, but Britt specifically, was the way she handled when Big Swole threw that rolled up, scrunched up piece of paper at her. She
Oh,
threw
the
that
nose,
piece of
yep.
paper at her, and now she has a broken nose,
Oh.
and oh my God, and the horror of it all, and she flung herself back, and that woman took a piece of paper and made it into.
But that's producing and booking and doing it right.
Exactly.
Like that's
But
what
she
that
also
looks.
sold it.
She did. That's true. But there's no reason others couldn't do that too if you just let
Exactly.
them do it.
Yeah.
Like I promise you, for as bad as Nyla Rose is in the ring, and she is bad, she has always been bad.
Yes.
Has a lot more charisma than you're seeing. She is
I'm
more
sure.
capable than you're seeing. I promise you that. I remember there was this angle between You'll never believe this. There in Capital Wrestling, there was an angle between Nyla Rose and Stephon Smith. Stephon Smith is now a referee in NXT, like the big black dude.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic wrestler. Like, he's so much more than you're seeing. But
why is he reffing and not wrestling? Do you know?
no, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why that happened. But he's also a weightlifter as well too, which explains the size. But
Yeah.
he's been wrestling since forever. I mean, he's been wrestling for I think the last 8 or 9 years. But at any rate, there was an angle between the two of them where they were in a team together. And it was completely ridiculous, where she was kind of the one in control and he was like knuckling under, and it was really cool. She could do it. She can pull that stuff off. She's got the charisma to do it. And frankly, so does he. And that's what made it really funny now that he's a ref and he can't do any of that. But she was really, really good there. So there is something there. It doesn't need a mouthpiece. It just needs to be allowed to work, and then fix what's going on with her in the ring. Spend some time with her and fix it, make it better. I don't know that there's much of a chance for her to be better, but
we don't know. Honestly, it could be that she's just never had a really good trainer. We don't know.
I don't know who trained Nyla Rose.
I have no idea who trained her, but I'm wondering if putting her with Dustin Rhodes, because Dustin has worked with a lot of people, has helped a lot of people through the years.
Keep Serena, put her with Serena.
Put her with Serena.
That's what Serena did, for crying out loud.
Oh.
She's trained. She has trained people. Give her to Serena.
Exactly. Serena is a great person. And
just do something. Like the point that we're all making in our own way is that while there aren't a tremendous number of women, there are more women there than they're using. Use them. Give me some variety. Shake it up a little bit. Turn them into must-watch stars, like you've done with FTR and the Jurassic Express, and you did it with FTR so fast. But the Jurassic Express and
Darby and OC and
et cetera, and Mox, and it's like there's so many people that they've made into must-see. Orange Cassidy wasn't must-see. They built that. They made that happen. So do that with women.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think we all kind of agree that the women are there. They're not being used, and it's management and it's production and it's creative.
Exactly.
Room that's not allowing them to be themselves. That's what
exactly. They're not getting booked, and they have proven that they can book promos, they can book storylines, they can book matches. They just aren't doing it with the women. The men are killing it.
They really are.
And the women are not given anything.
They could certainly use more of them too.
Yes, that too.
I stand by what I said earlier. They could just flat out just use more women.
Who do you think they should sign for indie girls? Who do you think AEW could really use right now?
Allison Kay.
Yes.
Allison Kay. That would be fun. I know she's in NWA right now, but I don't know the status of that deal because they're not on the air.
Right.
She would be fun. The
two from last night.
Who?
Oh, Serena Deeb.
Yeah.
And
bring her in as a.
Yeah, that was great.
That's cool.
That was a good match. It was a really good match.
Right. Eva Lise and Diamante.
Eva Lise has shown that she could wrestle with anybody. She was in Lucha Underground and she was wrestling dead matches with Pentagon Jr. and all these great Marty the Moth. Like, she is a beast in the ring.
She
like,
is.
Eva Lise could go toe to toe with anybody.
Now we just need to see the attitude.
Oh, Eva Lise has the attitude.
Yeah, she does.
But they didn't show it yesterday.
All day and twice on Sundays. Yes, she does.
Oh, yeah.
Eva Lise, Diamante, if they're not signed, bring them in. Give them
Camille, the woman that is with Nick Aldis in NWA. She's great. Bring her in.
Oh, I have seen her on Instagram. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Seriously good. Bring her in. Like that, and there are a lot of them. Like, there are some that are in PWX that are great. They're just, look at the indies. Like, all you got to do is sit there and look at YouTube for a little while, and you'll see them. It's not that they're not out there.
They're there, and they're sitting on their hands at home, get them now while you can.
Especially right now. Yeah,
right
I mean,
now is the perfect time to bring in the best women from the indies because they're like, oh,
Yeah.
work, cash,
Sign me in.
contract,
Yeah.
I'm there.
sure.
You know, very few would turn that down right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they would
Didn't
either.
Rachel Ellering work a couple matches for them in the beginning?
Yes,
She did, yeah.
yes.
She
I
did.
know
That's
she
another
was.
one.
She was with. She did the women's classic with WWE. But if she's out there and she worked a couple matches with them, then why not bring her in? I don't know. There's
One
Heather
more
Monroe
name.
is another one I remember. Heather Monroe, Kenzie
Yeah.
Page. She's a young wrestler. She showed great potential. She's been in a couple. She's jobbed in a couple matches. Let's be honest. But
I know, but then we go back to like that whole potential thing. Like AEW doesn't need any more potential.
Right.
You need to be
No, but
ready.
do you think with all the guff and all the crap that happened after COVID, do you think Tessa would be someone they should look at or no?
I was
Don't
just
touch.
thinking that. I was just thinking that. Yeah, why
Tessa
not?
Blanchard really could be a coup for them if they did things right.
Sure.
But they'd have to deal with the fallout from the accusations.
Yep.
In as much as those accusations may not even be true. I mean, remember
I know.
there's that article online from Stephen Dickey himself,
Right.
who actually knows her, who talked about it and kind of set the record straight. So
Why not? Bring her in. I mean, they need something right now. They need anything right now.
Yeah, I know she's in Mexico, but yeah, she could be a real coup and she's more than ready to go.
she may be the best thing, male or female, going right
What about Taya Valkyrie? Didn't she just finish the contract with TNA?
I don't know. I thought she was
I don't know
still
either.
with them. If she's not with them, AEW should snap her up.
Sure.
We'll look into that one. That's an interesting idea.
I thought I heard somewhere that since she dropped the Knockouts champion that she was done and she might have been done with her contract. So I mean, if she's sitting at home, why not? You know, bring it in. The problem is we talk about all these women wrestlers they could bring in. Are they going to be used properly? Are they going to be booked properly? Are they going to be – because they could bring all the talent they want, but if they're not going to be used properly and booked properly, that doesn't matter.
Yep, I agree.
Sure.
And who wants to be where they're not going to be used?
Right.
Even if they are getting paid. The pay is good, but.
Exactly. And the thing is, if they were brought in, if bigger names like Tessa were brought in, I don't think they'd have any choice but to do it. But I don't know. I think on that note, we should finish this one off. For Wrestle Royalty, we have Count Oscar, Noble Natalie, Baron Botch, and I am Queen KB. Make sure before you leave that you like down below and you subscribe down below and you hit that little bell. You hit that bell and it tells you when our next video comes out, and then you can come watch us again. Yay! Anyway, I am Queen KB for Wrestle Royalty. Bye!